So George, the part that has all your section at the bottom of the green.
We're live.
Three, two, welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me are the usual characters, Greg Hectus.
Finally, I'm back.
All right, Brad Wren.
After reading the forums, I think I'm the only person that actually likes week 13.
Ooh. And our special guest, welcome back, Jorge Anzaldo.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome. On today's show, it's week 13, so that means it's build week. Why we need updated rules and more realism. 2026 Season 3 release notes. Jorge or George from the Sim Gaming Expo stopped by for a visit. Conspit Signature Series revealed, and SimLab's Direct Drive update and Sim Racing Psychology.
That's right. And remember that you can follow along with us on your PC or your mobile device in real time as you listen to the show and see for yourself all the great topics and products we'll discuss by visiting iRacersLounge.com. Select the show notes. We hope to see you there.
And it's the second annual. Boy, are you proud to say that out loud? Second annual?
It's a great feeling, I'll tell you that. I mean, after the first one, we didn't have dates locked in yet. We had to kind of, just see where we're at with everything. But yeah, thankfully, we're able to do it and then do it in a bigger way because we actually have dates secured for the next 2 years. So this momentum we're carrying after the first one, it's great. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, and your lineup is looking pretty stout already, even though you have a few months left here. We've been kind of monitoring that here on the show. Um, let our listeners know why they want to come out this time. What's newer and better than last time? Like, how could it even be better?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we took feedback from our attendees from last year, and we're always going to strive to make the event a little bit bigger. One of the ways is we actually increase the exhibit hall floor space. So our competition area will actually be featured in its own side of the exhibit hall, along with our media stage, streaming rooms, which basically opens up the exhibit hall on the other side and allows us to bring in more brands. Like last year, if you remember, we incorporated the competition space into the exhibit hall because we had overall less floor space. So it was, it limited how many brands we could actually bring in. This year's really exciting in that we have, wow, I think we're up to maybe like 14, 15 new brands. And we also brought back a lot of the big names or the heavy hitters, if you will. But yeah, we've really taken that momentum, and now we're seeing companies actually reaching out to us, and also like companies now they're like stretching their legs. So like for example, SimLab, who had 1,000 square foot booth, they now have 2,000 square feet, which is really cool. It just means like everyone's buying in now, which is great, and I think they're finally able to like believe in the vision, and we're just seeing it now with all the new brands, and like I mentioned, like just them having more expansive booths. So it's pretty exciting to see.
I always want to hear your take when you have your I guess we'll call them the competition, but the Sim Racing Expo just recently happened in Charlotte. Um, and then you have your now booked event, second annual, you're booking for a third and so forth. That's in September. So we got two a year, it seems like, here in the US. Can sim racing and flight sim and all that you're doing, can that really support two a year? Do you think there's enough bandwidth for both?
You know, ultimately, I believe so. The reason being is we're seeing so much growth right now across the industry. Look at all the sim centers that are continuing to pop up across the United States. And so that just means that they need hardware support. And so we're seeing more and more people jumping into the if again, like talking about sim racing primarily, like we're seeing more people jumping into this space. Schools are starting to incorporate sim racing into their esports programs. It's really exciting to see. It's a great time. So ultimately, yeah, I mean, I believe that the industry can support two events. Of course, my focus is making the Sim Gaming Expo as good as it can be for all of our attendees and for this community. But yeah, I think it's a testament just again to the overall growth of the industry. So um, we're hopeful that both events can thrive and coexist, which I believe they can. And yeah, we'll see what the future holds.
Well, look, we believe in the product and what you're doing because we booked up a second booth for a
Yeah.
second year in a row, and we want a place to showcase to our listeners, to give back, to shake a hand, to have a conversation. Uh, and it was great for us to be there and have that opportunity to record our podcast there live, that kind of thing. So we appreciate what you've done, and so we're totally bought into it, and we look forward to meeting all the people there. And uh, the community aspect of what you're putting together has been just tremendous. Uh, Putting a face to a name. Hey, we finally get to meet after all these years, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? There were so many stories like that of just people from the community finally having a home where they could meet in person. As you guys know, and that's the other thing in terms of like the community aspect. I've been a iRacing member since 2013. I ran a league for 10 years. Like, I definitely consider myself part of this community, and that's what I wanted to bring to this show. Like, I wanted to share my passion that I have for sim racing and other forms of sim with basically with the greater simulation enthusiast community. So I think we're definitely doing that. And yeah, like last year, just seeing new friendships being made and those that have been around for many years, just again like having a home where they could hang out and just celebrate their love for all of this amazing hardware tech and software. So it's pretty exciting. I mean, again, like just seeing everyone come in and the positive response that we received from everyone, it was just really exciting. And again, like with regards to iRacers Lounge podcast, I mean, how cool was that? I mean, you guys, hosting your 500th episode at our inaugural event. I mean, that was just so cool. And those are some of the things like that we want to also give back to the community, like, you know, providing more opportunities for creators. Like that's why we felt so strongly about having a sim racing streaming room and the podcast room, just a way to also, as I mentioned, like, just give back to the community and give them, a platform for additional growth. Like that's ultimately like what we're trying to do, like trying to prop up the community and help the businesses that are supporting it grow.
You
You
know,
know,
I, go ahead, Brad.
I was going to say, George, we ran into each other in Charlotte, and the one thing that I really took away from comparing the two expos was the community aspect. Um, Being in Chicago really felt like you said, it was an opportunity for us to meet people, but it was kind of really it was a way of giving the community an opportunity to showcase things. You guys, you're the influencers, all that stuff that you've got coming in already for this year. But as much fun as I had in Charlotte, it felt more like a trade show, as opposed to what we felt in Chicago. And I just want to give you kudos for that because I think you did a good job, of really embracing the community. And again, first shot, no one had done it, but I still think, you know, I think second year is going to be the same way, and I think the third year will be the same way as well. Because I just think it's a different philosophy when you start to put things together.
I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, we definitely, we swung for the fences, and again, like I don't know, maybe it's just again like coming from someone who's really been a part of this stuff for a long time. Like I tried to make, my experiences and the things that I love about sim racing and other forms of sim like really stand out. Like so for example, the competition area, like having a background and running a league for 10 years, like that was one of the things that, in terms of like that spark of imagination that ultimately led to the Sim Gaming Expo. And originally I wanted to have my league, like those guys compete live on a stage in some type of esports arena. Like, so competition essentially is like so very important to me. And it's a part of like my journey on the iRacing platform. And so again, like that was something that I wanted to do. And when we designed and conceived like the competition area, we didn't want it to be just, a bunch of guys that have like 10,000 I rating. Of course, there's a place for that. And we did have that, but we also, we had other leagues, creators, community members, just again, just trying to give an opportunity for everyone to be present, have fun, and again, just kind of give everyone a chance, basically, to kind of be a part of something big.
What I'll piggyback a little bit on what Brad was saying. Something that is different or unique with your show over the other ones are you're letting these content creators and streamers have a way to showcase what they do, and you see this in the post that we're going to be reviewing next. You see people like B Roy and T Bone, Funky T Bone, and these guys are just known as streamers, really. But you put them on the social media, they're a special guest, and all this, and it makes them feel important too, and part of the community. And I think that's really a big difference I see. It's not just a trade show. It's we're coming together. We're going to race, like you said. We're going to have competition. We're going to meet and talk. You got these streamers doing their streams and all this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and like again, like that's I think that's also like one of the testaments with regards to this being a community driven event. Like we've invited creators, it's like if they're passionate and they want to like help build something together with us, like it doesn't matter if they have 1,000 followers or, tens of thousands of followers. Like there's a place for everyone here. And everyone, again, like they're on different parts of their journey, but if this show can help elevate, these creators and give them a platform to, again, like to feel welcome and special, because we're all a part of this in some way. Like we're all contributing to just how amazing like all of this stuff is. It's just honestly, it's beautiful. Like you see it in real world motorsports, the camaraderie, even though again, like through the spirit of competition, you'll see, teams like, again, like there's times where say they need a tool or a part or something's wrong, like you help that person to get on the track. We saw that with the exhibitors as well. Some had a few hiccups with equipment, and another exhibitor here, borrow this extra computer that we have so you can have like a great show, and your booth would be running at its best. So it's just, yeah, I love the camaraderie. I love like just everyone contributing. And again, like my philosophy from the beginning is that together we can really build something great. And I think it shows like with ultimately like the crowd, and just again like how excited and happy they were. There's so much energy, and you're right. I do believe that there's a different vibe at Sim Gaming Expo. So yeah, it's one of the things I'm really proud about.
So you remind me of Sean Cole from the Sim Pit getting a free computer from Built PCs. Those guys were great. And
Yeah.
the moment I caught on film of that, it was just a priceless moment. He was very emotional about it, obviously, and to get such a nice gesture. But those are the things I look forward to.
Yeah, and again, like in Sean's case, like he's an OG, like he's one of the godfathers of sim racing. And I think sometimes, you go through the daily grind and you're just, you go every day doing the show, and you don't sometimes have an opportunity to stop and see like, what, there's a lot of people that care about you and support you, and that they're they're here because they love what it is that you're doing. You know, again, like when you're just behind the screen, it's hard sometimes to see that. But again, like having everybody be able to come and see and talk with one another face to face, like it, I think it's such a big difference. So yeah, that was a fantastic moment. Built PCs was awesome for doing that, and they actually will be supporting the event this year in a big way. They're going to power our competition area and streaming rooms with their high end PCs. So it's yeah, it's pretty cool to have them back and supporting in a bigger way this year.
All right, well, let's go through the list we have on the script about your stuff. I mean, it starts out with a coupon code here, a discount code. Tell us about that and how our listeners could take advantage.
Yeah, so we have a 15% discount right now that's going to run. It's currently running now through July 10th. And so it's a little bit bigger than last year. So we're providing a 15% discount. The code is SGE15. So you'll use that at checkout to save 15%. One thing that we are trying to do though is we're trying to, encourage and give everyone a little bit of a push to secure their tickets and their hotels early. After this discount expires, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to provide another one. Certainly not at that level. So this is really the opportunity now for fans to save a little bit on tickets.
And then what about room block? I know last year you had to get extra rooms and this and that. Are we good on room block?
Yeah, so the room block is about 60% full. And the thing is now, and that's what I found, like we analyzed everything from last year, and so this is the rush, the last 3 months. So now everyone's getting their tickets. Some of the exhibitors are, finalizing all their plans. So if you want to stay at the Schaumburg Convention Center Hotel, the Renaissance, the Marriott, I would book now. we can try to expand the room block, but again, like there's other things happening in and around the hotel over the course of that weekend. So, like we're also like sharing space. Like the room block is only so big. So, yeah, like I said, it's about half full. If for some reason, if the room block does fill up, there's tons of hotels that are, in the surrounding area. One that's not even 5 minutes down the road. So, yeah, you'll definitely be able to stay somewhere. But we want you to stay on site. And so, yeah, if you want to do that, I encourage everyone to book as soon as they can.
It's super convenient to stay at the convention center because you don't have to drive anywhere. I mean, you just go downstairs and there it is.
Yeah, it's perfect. And again, just to remind everyone, you'll just visit our website, click on the hotels tab at the top of the screen, and that'll take you right to the registration page. But yeah, there's so much. I mean, there's restaurants and there's a coffee shop and there's a bar. So and when everyone's ready to unwind after a long day, you can sit and have a drink and talk with friends. It's a very modern facility. It's a great place, and I'm so happy that we're able to have it again for the next 2 years. So for those who haven't been yet to the convention center, I think that they'll be pleasantly surprised just how nice of a facility it is.
And then next up, you had a couple big returning exhibitors, starting with Gomez Wheels. Man, those things are awesome.
Yeah, we're so happy to have Gomez Sim Industries back. I mean, they actually were like one of the success stories. I mean, a lot of the exhibitors, I think all of them, found significant value in being a part of our show last year. But in terms of like Gomez Sim Industries, they reported selling a lot of wheels last year. So they chose to come back. They were one of the companies that signed up pretty early. And yeah, we're super happy to have them back. They'll be right up front again with 1,000 square foot booth. They'll be supporting our competition area with some of their wheels. Yeah, so they're one of those big names. I think that certainly draws in a lot of people.
And then talk about big sim cockpits. We got Simcraft also returning, one of our neighbors from last year.
Yeah, Simcraft. They've been incredible. We actually have some really big news with regards to SimCraft and their level of support. You'll probably see that announcement out tomorrow, but yeah, they'll be back with 1,000 square foot booth. Yeah, they're supporting the show in a big way this year, so they'll actually be as well one of our platinum sponsors. So you'll see their branding throughout the floor over the weekend. It's pretty great to have them back.
Yeah, then after that, you had several special guest announcements.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're working with a ton of creators. We actually there's a number that are backlogged. We've been there'd probably be somewhere around 60, I think, between like the creators and some of their staff. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of content creators. But for example, like Matt Malone will be coming back. Honestly, like a lot of them are part of the iRacing community. But yeah, some of them also, like Casket Man 20, he does a little bit of farming simulator. There's a few others that, they stream like like Elite Dangerous. They're part of like the sci-fi flight sim community. And as I mentioned, like just a ton of sim racing content creators. So yeah, we got a lot.
Yeah, I think 4 this week I saw on your Instagram. Uh, that's so neat to see. And then the other announcement this week was Open Wheel Invitational.
Yeah, we're super excited. Again, GSI supporting that series. Essentially, it's connecting with the IndyCar community, and so one of the other special guests, Brandon Hyperstar, he's pretty well known in the iRacing IndyCar communities. Won some official Indy 500s. Just kind of one of those prominent drivers from that scene. So he's kind of taken the reins and reached out directly to the IndyCar community on iRacing, and so we have some applications coming in, and we'll essentially pick 15 drivers, and we'll do it again like we did last year. So it'll be a combination between road and oval, basically like a short mini series, and there'll be some prizes and some trophies, which we'll announce at the end of the competition. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then next was a livery contest, diecast model.
Yeah, so this is one that I'm super excited about, and this really came together quickly and somewhat late, but we've teamed up with Spark Models, who they actually make some really high-end models, some made of resin and some of die cast, but again, like really high quality. So they will be exhibiting with us this year. But what we've done is we've worked together in tandem to create this livery contest. So the contest is running for a 2-week period. At that time, we'll take all of the entries and we'll review them. We'll pick the top 3, and then ultimately it'll come down to a fan vote. And that winning livery will, they'll win some cash. And then their design will actually be turned into an exclusive 143 scale diecast or resin model, which will then be sold at Sim Gaming Expo. So it's really cool, and their livery will also appear in the challenge series. So, but again, like there's so many painters out there, but when is it that you really get to have your design like turned into an actual physical, car? So I think that that's really cool, and I think that we're going to get some great entries. So we're really pushing that right now, and yeah, I'm excited to see where where this is going to go. I mean, there's so many talented painters out there, so I'm excited to see which one will ultimately the fans will choose as the winner. So
I want one of those diecasts.
yeah, they'll be there. They'll be there. I know. I'm definitely going to pick one up, and that's the cool thing too. Like the diecast, like that's part of the rules. Like it has to have the Sim Gaming Expo logo on it and the Spark Models logo, and then from there, it's pretty much really the creators. It's up to their creativity. So we'll see what comes of it. But I'm certain we're going to get some just amazing amazing designs.
You have great colors in your logo, so I don't see how they could mess this up.
I think they're okay. They're pretty cool. I mean, I enjoy our color palette. But yeah, it's one thing. Like they can branch out and use different colors, but they're probably, probably get some extra bonus points if they do if they do use our color palette.
Very nice. Yeah, that looks pretty fun. Well, boy, it's a pleasure having you come on and tell us about the upcoming show. We're 3 months out. This is the call to everyone listening. Book your rooms, get your tickets, use the discount code SGE15. Get that 15% off because it after July 15th or July 10th, you said it's no longer available. So book now.
Yeah, and we're anticipating a bigger crowd this year too. I mean, I think a lot of people, they found out about the show like after the fact, and they're like, "Wait, how did I miss this?" And so, people are telling, one another about it. We're seeing also, um, a little bit more growth on our social channels. So people are, they're starting to find out about the event. I think word has spread throughout the industry. So, yeah, we are anticipating a little bit bigger of a crowd. So yeah, I'm really excited just to see everyone walk through the door. I'm looking forward to greeting everyone like we did on Friday and just, welcoming everyone through those show doors. Yeah, I mean, it's really surreal. Just again, like kind of going from this concept, this dream, and then seeing it all become reality. And again, like the thing is that it doesn't happen without the support of the community. It honestly, again, like I can't thank everyone enough just for you know allowing me to be in this position to try to give back. Um, so it's just, yeah, it's really an honor, and I'm going to continue to do my very best to give everyone the show that they deserve, and just just put the absolute best amount of effort that I can to continue to make this show great year after year.
Yeah, look, I get in these random race lobbies in iRacing and I'll call out over the radio under yellow, hey, meet me in mid-September in Chicago, Sim Gaming Expo. You guys be there, be square.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, we gotta spread the word. I think as a community, that's really the best way. I mean, let's be honest. The show it's a young show and it's still growing, and you know, we don't have like you hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing budget. We're 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 still part of this very humble beginning, and we really do. We need a big push from everyone to just take us over the finish line, like help spread the word, and bring your friends. Like that's like the one thing that I've said many times is, I'm sure as you guys know, like I've experienced it many times. We all love this stuff so much. Like we post about it on our personal socials, and many times, like I'd post about races or things happening with my league, and you go to work on Monday morning, and then your coworker's like, "Oh, you're you're racing? You're a racer? You race Indy cars on the weekend?" I'm like, "No, I don't. It feels very real. The cars are virtual, but we take this stuff very seriously. But this is an opportunity to show everyone, like, hey, this is what I'm into. Like, this is the stuff that I love, and I think we'd be surprised just how many people then would be like, the light bulb. They'd have that aha moment, and maybe we bring a few more people in, and get them involved. Because again, like as you guys know, like once you really like get involved with this stuff, you just get hooked. So I think it'd be great to introduce more people, and like I said, like just let them know, like this isn't like some stereotype thing. Like we take this stuff seriously, and the hardware and everything that it takes to do this at a high level. Like it's not like child's play. Like it's legit, and I want more people to learn about this stuff and experience it firsthand.
All right, Jorge, George. I don't know what to call you. Sorry.
Yeah. Everyone calls me
Either
George.
either
Either
one.
either way. Yeah, either one.
Okay.
You don't offend me at all. It's my name. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and giving us an update. Look, if there's any new updates you want to come on and spread the word, you're welcome. Let us know.
I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, I really do.
George, thank you so much. We can't wait to see you in September.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. It's been great catching up with you, and yeah, looking forward to welcoming you guys back September 18th through the 20th.
All right.
Thanks, George.
Thanks guys. Take care.
Okay, topics. We got a speed teaser, Brad.
Yeah, just a little 8-second clip here. iRacing posted on X. Got the little soundtrack in the background from
Top
Top
Gun.
Gun. Yeah, you got a jet and a couple of helicopters there. So yeah, just a teaser for the for Coronado. So pretty neat.
So I bought Coronado, and I did get to fly around like a bird with the control F12 and the WASD key, and got to take a close up look at the bird at the planes, the fighter jets, the Huey helicopters, the battle, the aircraft carrier. I was looking for Dale Jr.
I was just gonna
and
ask that. Did you
Steve
find them?
Myers, and I couldn't find them. I looked all over.
They're somewhere.
I could see them like putting them on like the, like steering the ship or sitting on the captain's deck or something like that.
Well, there's supposedly they're going to be broadcasting from the flight deck of the aircraft carrier, the control tower or something is
It's
where
the
they're gonna
highest
be.
spot, right?
Yeah.
That's so sick. Like it's just a cool idea.
It is so cool that the military is involved in all this, and then the way that they space out their equipment. So they literally are putting these airplanes and fighter jets in the fan zone, so fans can like walk up and look around it, kind of thing. That's the way I see it. But look, the artwork on Coronado, look, every time iRacing does a new track, they take it up a notch as far as quality and completeness. And you know what? As I spent 20 minutes looking at everything they built there, including the San Diego city line, building lines on the other side of the water, on the other side of the bay, they had that all built out too. Now they just had the front facade of it. They didn't build out a three-dimensional building, but from Coronado Island, it looks perfect.
Yeah, I was surprised at how smooth the track ran too. I was expecting with all of that, it was probably going to be a frames per second destroyer, but it really wasn't bad at all. So kudos to that.
All right, Greg, next up, they teased the BMW M2.
Is this just a more update M2 than car that they've done this one?
Yeah, they replaced the one they released, I think, probably mid last year or
I was
so.
just gonna say it's not that old, right?
No, but BMW apparently, wanted it updated. So
Okay, so iRacing, posted on the Twitter X, whatever we call it. I'm never gonna get old with that. But the BMW M2 Racing G87 will arrive in the 2026 Season 3 release, which has obviously happened already. Very cool video. I, unless I had the cars side by side, I don't know what the huge changes are. Obviously, it's probably some aero and stuff like that, but it's just a typical M2 Beamer.
I understand the inside of the car looks a little different too. There's, minor changes, but yeah, this has always been a fun car. I have not yet tried the new one.
yep, and then we had a updated content for the BMW M Hybrid V8 Evo. So this has the Evo package that they started racing this year. So again, if you owned it, this is a free update. I think this is the first GTP car that they put in the service. I think we're driving this before it actually hit Daytona. So nice update. Got the snout's been changed and whatnot. But again, so if you own the car, this was free.
The M2 is obviously free too. Like we were saying right there with it, if you had it already from last year.
Yep.
Next up, week 13 schedule is released. And so we have this documented on their website, but I got to take a look at it. I think Chris and I were interested in the 5 to go, which is it's a short race with a 5-lap race basically to the checker. And those are kind of fun. I got in a few pickup cup races and got wrecked out almost immediately. I mean, it's week 13. So yeah, I'm not doing much.
No, I mean, Again, it's a lot of the same similar things that we get. You know, new content's going to the get the series and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, again, for week 13 is a for me, it's just a time to kind of relax a little bit and not have to worry about something every single night.
And then we had a nice tweet from Ben Kennedy, who I think is the COO of NASCAR. Um, he said, quote, "We always appreciate partnering up with iRacing crew to help bring our crazy ideas to life. It's a place for us to test track layouts, understand any surface issues, and of course, show it off. Looking forward to making this a reality next week."
Yep. So this is the X post. He's quoting from iRacing where they show the track. You know, it's about a 1 minute video, uh, kind of get the flyby and all the information. So yeah, pretty neat. You know, this is another circumstance, just like Chicago, the reconfigured Atlanta. You know, NASCAR relied heavily on iRacing to help bring these things to life.
So I actually replied to Ben Kennedy in Twitter and asked, well, what about this massive bump underneath the walkover bridge? You know, part of his tweet is he says understand surface issues. Man, if there's a hole or a bump that you need to pave out or smooth out, this is it. And they didn't do anything, apparently.
Well, I think that supposedly they have gone back and there's going to be some repaved areas. I don't know. I think it's the downhill coming into, I guess maybe to turn one, that first left-hander. You know, the laps that I was turning, it was I was catching air coming down that hill, and it's going to be very challenging.
And the one I'm talking about, I want to say call it a backstretch, but you're kind of going straight. You see a walkover bridge, and as you go underneath it, there's a massive dip. And I was seeing cars not lift on the gas going over that and just turn sideways right into the wall.
Yep. So then we got a couple of videos here. First look from NASCAR um, at San Diego, and then Steel Horse Live. Um, so has a video up here as well where I think he somehow runs off the track or is going somewhere. Couldn't figure
He,
out exactly where he went.
he finds one of those space-time continuum portals that you zap you back to pit road.
I love that it's an automatic pit road reset.
Look, every track should have one of those, you know.
Well, it's either that or you get launched to the moon, right?
Well, if you look, if the whole trick to those is you creep in really slow and to kind of fall into it just really slow, it'll bounce you into the air and do the to the moon shot. But if you do it too fast, you'll end up on pit road.
This track with, if they get the camera angles with this track just right, it's gonna be a really good race to watch on TV. I don't know how exciting it might be, or like, you know, I feel like someone with like SVG's experience and, you know, just having experience and just going out and learning something quickly is probably going to make this a runaway, but let's hope not.
And the other tweet we have is from at Electronics Purge. Said, "Hey iRacing, what is this, and why is the word caution misspelled on it?" And they show like a pedestal with a looks like a cruise missile on it, and it has, you know, Andorra Industries, and it has a little caution label on it, and they actually spelled it Causion. So do you think it's misspelled on the actual cruise rocket incorrectly, or do you think iRacing actually misspelled it?
My guess would be it may be misspelled on the actual rocket. They're pretty detail oriented when it comes to some of this stuff.
I think you're right. Maybe this is like a European country or something, and that's how they spell it, or I don't know.
Do we get a hot fix for it, do you think?
No downtime was required.
Okay, Brad, you got sim racing psychology next.
Yep, got a video here from Jaxler. So we share quite a bit of his stuff, and he kind of digs into sometimes the more of the head space when it comes to sim racing. So, but here he's discussing how sim racing is more than just a game. It's a profound tool and training ground for valuable real world life skills. He shares how a therapist in the U.S. Department of Corrections even used concepts from his channel to build a therapy program for inmates. So some of the things he talks about: six major skills, emotional regulation under pressure. So the stakes in a race provoke genuine physical stress responses. I mean, think about it. You get in a spot, what happens? Your heart rate goes up. You grip the wheel a little bit more. So sim racing kind of acts as an exposure therapy. So it allows you to kind of rehearse some of those feelings and how you handle the pressure. The art of recovering from a mistake. He shared a personal story of how he almost gave up after a brutal opening lap in a critical scholarship race. So sim racing teaches you that you do. Sim racing teaches that what you do after a mistake matters, sometimes much more than the actual mistake itself. Patience and trusting the process. Long races, no shortcuts. You need to, follow the steps, trust what you're doing, follow the process, and you'll be okay. An honest self-assessment. When you take time and you look at telemetry and you look at your lap data, it doesn't lie. It is what it is. So sometimes it's good for us to sit back and you think you've hit that perfect corner. You think you've trail braked enough. Look at your data and you'll come to find out. Well, maybe you're not doing as well as you could, or when you compare yourself to somebody else. Understanding vehicle limits. So sim racing builds a muscle memory regarding weight transfers, tire grip, braking distances, understeer and oversteer. So this is helpful. Honestly, even in real world, you're driving your personal car. I think sim racing keeps you somewhat hyper aware, even when you're behind the wheel of your normal daily driver. Um, and then also regarding intentions and pattern recognition. So spending thousands of laps running wheel to wheel builds a spidey sense. You're for predicting an opponent's aggression or line twitches. So, and again, even in the real world, you know, you may find that you're in a bad spot on the highway, and actually be able to get yourself out of something before it possibly could happen. So just pretty good video, and I think some of the stuff it's stuff we all thought about, but it's nice that he kind of puts it together, in the video, and it just kind of makes you think about some of this.
And you know what's interesting as you read through this, several of these literally happened to me last night in last night's race on the final lap. Emotional regulation under pressure. Man, I'm in third. I'm digging for the win. I get to second. I'm digging. I get to the lead. Then I lose it. Man, my emotional regulation under pressure was at an extreme level. Like, I can do this, breathe, breathe, breathe. Like it's so easy to psych yourself out in that moment when man, I haven't won a race since February. I want this win bad, and this total psych. And like you said, the spinning thousands of laps, pattern recognition. Look, I know how to win this race. Just do it. Breathe. And so, yeah, this video really spoke to me. I see it in my own self, in those kind of things.
Well, and Mike, after watching your video last night too, like, you didn't let, you knew you screwed up that turn one, but you didn't let it end your lap.
Right. That's true. I had the lead. I went into one. I almost wrecked. I was all over the place, but focus, look forward, get the next turn, and I pulled it off. But we'll talk about that in results.
Yep. And then we got another post from iRacing. So just kind of just a update on some of the track updates that came out in season 3. So just a nice little video here showing most of the tracks. You got Laguna Seca, which looks fantastic. Chicagoland Speedway got a refresh, looks good. Orem Park Raceway, Magny Cours, and then Motorsport Arena, Oschersleben. So
Pretty big list. All right. Updated to current rules. We got a post in the forums from Peter Neuter. Hey, can we get the cars updated to the current rules? He says, I thank you for the Balance of Power update on April 6th. Is there any way we could get all the dirt cars updated to the current rule package? Super dirt cars and World of Outlaws, please and thank you. Also, a 358 modified has more horsepower than 510. Also, dirt car does not have a specific RPM limit range. And could we get a sportsman class? So, look, we got a guy here who knows his dirt racing, and it sounds like he's calling iRacing out that they kind of got it wrong.
Well, I don't know how long these have been on the service, so perhaps there's been changes since then as well. But yeah, I mean, look, I know the dirt community doesn't ever feel like they get much, and I know they haven't probably gotten a whole lot of content in the last couple of years. Dirt AI was the start of that was released with this update, but yeah, they probably they need some love.
I got to try that dirt AI. I've been horrible at dirt. Maybe that's the ticket. All right, Greg, how about Euro NASCAR? We got a tease for that.
Do we even know that this was coming? Like, it kind of was a surprise. Like, for me, obviously, I've been in and out of the iRacing spectrum for a while here just to watch it. But there's a video here on the iRacing Twitter X page. So the Euro NASCAR V8 GP has arrived. This powerful yet surprisingly light and agile V8 stock car is purpose-built for road racing and engineered to excel across a variety of European tracks. So it's just a nice video showing it going around the track and, all its things that they normally do with their promo videos. I did see that, too, this is the only stock car NASCAR that has rain tires.
Yeah, it's rain ready. So yeah, they announced the collaboration. Guess probably close to a year ago, maybe. It was back in 25. So yeah, from what I've seen on the on the forums, it seems like a lot of people are happy with the car. Now, of course, there's the dreaded fear of what happens once we get into
Gen
week three,
4. The Gen
yeah,
4 problem.
week 3 and week 4, and if participation stays high. So
I'm not
I haven't bought it yet. I don't know if I will yet, but it definitely looks good.
I'm not too traversed in the Euro NASCAR. Is there more manufacturers than just one?
Yeah. There's the normal. There's Chevrolet, Ford, all the normal Dodge, all the normal manufacturers. I think it's pretty much almost it's like the trucks. They're running probably a crate motor. Most of the chassis are probably the same. Maybe a little bit of body difference, but not a lot.
Kind of like the COT with a nose change.
Yeah,
This looks like an ARCA car.
it looks nothing like an ARCA car.
It's actually like
maybe an older NASCAR. Like
I was
gonna
say, isn't it more like a?
Gen 5
It's like a Frankenstein late model
It's
stock
very
car.
it's very similar, Greg. If you remember when CASCAR was running,
They still run the Pinty. The
Penny series.
the
So
Pinty series are a Canadian Tire.
very similar car
Series.
to that. Very similar car to the Mexico series as well. So, all right, I got the next one here. So we got a forum post here. This is actually from Brandon Evans, Premier Racing Setup Builder, and I told him I would bring this up on the show. So he's got a forum post saying, please increase pit stop speed for next gen. So, iRacing, the next gen car in real life, has an average pit stop speed of around 8.5 seconds, yet we're stuck at around 13.5. Can we please increase the speed to match real life? So, got a lot of feedback here. I gave my 2 cents. I definitely think we need it. Look, if everybody's getting 14-second pit stops, it doesn't make a difference. But I think from an immersion standpoint, it would be nice to come onto pit road and know you're only going to be there for 8 or 9 seconds, not to sit there like they're having to hit all 5 lugs like they used to. I mean, the pit stop times, I don't think it's changed from the Gen 6 to the Gen 7 at all.
They never touched it.
Now, do they? Would it change perspective? Because if you're doing an 8 to 9 second pit stop, obviously guys are still coming in then a lot, while you're kind of the front guys are kind of leaving. Like obviously cars don't actually hit each other, but would it change the way you're, in and out of your pit stall? Will it give you more of like a visual problem?
I don't think so. I mean, again, it's look, if in reality, 9 seconds, 14 seconds, if everybody's doing the same thing, it doesn't make a difference. If we sit there for 9 seconds and then we pull out, that's no different than sitting there if everybody sits there for 14 seconds.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like the lap back part of when you're sitting there for 14 seconds, more cars get into pit stalls than in a 9 second if you're a front car runner.
Well, green flag stops is what I was thinking about. Like you come in for green flag stop, you stay only 9 seconds. Maybe you can get out and not lose a lap, depending on what track it is. And then if it was 15 seconds, maybe you would lose a lap. So that's the kind of thing I could see that could be affected by it.
Yeah, I just think from the emergency, point, it would be nice. There's multiple responses here on the forums, but yeah, I think Mike brings up a good point. I mean, if you're running green flag stop, so let's think about get outside of like a drafting track, but um, you're in an intermediate. Yeah,
Pocono.
we're let's say you're in an intermediate where tires are important, so you decide to go ahead and run a little bit longer so that you've got the extra speed at the end, but a shorter pit stop, you know, it could put you closer to that car, however it works out. So, like I said, I don't know. I mean, there's some talk in here. Is that would they have to rework the entire animation and stuff? And I'm like, I really don't think so because I don't think they really changed it other than giving the guy a different gun and changing the sound. I mean, yes, they had to change the animation for it, but I just don't know why you can't take 4 seconds off.
So when we hear the pit stop through our headset, are we hearing 5 lugs or one? I
No,
don't
it's
know.
just one. It's that rough GT sound of the lug nut though, isn't it? They changed that sound.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Majors 24 by the numbers. We have a post from the Majors series talking about their Le Mans race, their 24-hour Le Mans called Majors 24. The event at a glance, they had 307,000 laps completed, over 2.6 million total miles raced, a little over 4,000 unique drivers. Wow. Across 976 cars. 351 cars that led a lap, 76,000 incidents, 7,700 total spins, 4,400 total car contacts, but 76% running at the finish.
I just thought the 4,000 drivers was a huge number for a league.
Wow, that's big.
A league. I mean, again, I would love for iRacing to be able to get this back to where they could do it official, but this is your alternative. So kudos to the majors. Putting this all together. I think it was, gosh, 18 or 19 splits or something. It was big, but to have 4,000 drivers out there was really good. I think it was close to somewhere between 700 to 800 teams is what I think.
All right. Next is a post from iRacing support about people in week 13 who cannot launch the sim. They have a fix. You have to do an adjustment in Windows as far as your region. And we have a post from iRacing support on Twitter that gives a screenshot of what you need to check mark.
Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff on the forums. I haven't had any issues. I don't know if anybody here, I don't think anybody on the team had any issues either, outside of once, the first day when stuff was very slow to come back up.
Okay, so now let's jump into the full release notes, Brad. Let's try not to talk about what we've already talked about, but what did we miss?
One thing I thought was neat was the series specific sporting regulations and branding. So, in an effort to get the rules set more in line with what real life is, so they've now added in official series different types of rule sets. So, and how that plays out, depending on what the real world rules are, will dictate, like in sports cars, whether or not you can change tires and fuel at the same time, or if you have to wait to do those. But then also with the branding, so like in a hosted session, you can just pick the specific branding. So, say you're running an IMSA league, You can now pick for it to be the IMSA branding, DTM, whatever you want to do. I don't know if you could necessarily do that as easily before, but it's a nice step. So this is all through really the sports car series, even the Indy car as well. So yeah, pretty neat. I mean, they talked a little bit about this in the dev blog, but really kind of I think opened it up a lot.
Next was Series Discovery. This kind of shocked me when I opened the UI and I had 4 big boxes. You want oval, road, dirt, or dirt oval. And I don't think I picked any of those. And then Chris was complaining that he had picked on one and now he didn't want it.
You can minimize it and just go back to the list view. That's what I use. I don't use the grid view. I've always used the list, and I have the series that I run all the time. Starred, and that's really all I ever see.
All right. Chinese language is now supported within the iRacing launcher. Paint kit changes. Sponsors have been added.
We talked about AI racing, so a lot of new series got AI, and then also AI Dirt as well as we mentioned earlier. So did get some new widgets, track map, the fuel widget as well.
Yeah,
So we've got
I like the track map. I ran that last night and loved it. I also successfully used the new fuel widget as well, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I used the fuel. I haven't switched to the track map yet, so um, let's see what else. A few other. I don't want to go through all the weeds here. So connectivity changes were made, and I think this has to kind of go back to when they started talking about what they were going to do with AWS servers. But default now is Anycast versus the Unicast. So what that does is it's going to actually look for the best routing servers to get you into the pipeline. So we'll see what happens there. You can change back to Unicast or disable the Anycast if you want to. Um,
Pitch speed limiter is a little different. I noticed last night it'll say like 45.2 mile an hour. You get the point whatever mile, so you can kind of fine tune where you're at.
what car were you using the pit limiter on?
That would, I wasn't using the pit limiter. What I mean is when I
That's
was
yeah.
on pit road, I see the speeds are at, instead of
Okay.
just showing me 45, it says 45.2.
Okay. Well, the pit speed limiter is strictly for cars with a pit speed limiter. Nothing changed otherwise. There was a bunch of people, woe is me on the forums about, oh, now we're going
It's
unrealistic.
slower.
Yeah, everybody's going to have pit speed limiters. This only affects cars that actually have a limiter on them. And it's just a better algorithm of how it does it.
So is this like I engage the pit speed limiter and it's 1 mile an hour below the limit, and so I feel like I'm slower than I would be if I'm not using it?
No, I think it actually gets you to a truer speed. I think there was a lot of people were kind of messing around, and you could change the in between gears to end up to bump the speed up or something. As usual, somebody's going to find some way to take advantage of something. So iRacing has to do something to stop it. So we did get the update on the dynamic track model. So some impact on how shadows affect the surface temperature and sun angles. Also on the oval side, looking at as far as asphalt tracks, how track cleaning will happen, even with it being, the movement of other cars over top the marbles and stuff. So um, I could tell last night that we finally did get the sounds back when we hit debris that was gone all last season. So that's nice to, when you run over the marbles or some rocks, you'll hear them pinging the car again.
Nice. New spotter messages. Uh, they have different language spotters being added and updated for a bunch of different languages. Control. The ignition control can again be bound to switches. I have always had a problem with ignition and start, and I wonder if this will fix me.
Well, there was a lot of issues after the last build where stuff wasn't working right. So, um, along with controls, they've added the option to save controller layouts. So you can
Ooh, that's
swap,
really nice.
yeah, so you can swap, just you can load in. If you got two different wheels, say you got two different road wheels, you can actually just load the other one and everything will be there as it would. So that should be handy.
So in the lower left, you'll find this profile where you can hit new profile. And I think there's a couple of methods to use this. Like you just said, is maybe you have a profile for your oval wheel and you have a profile for your road wheel A and road wheel B. Or you do it like I did and you have a profile per car, which is the way I started doing it. So each car I've got in so far, I've made a unique profile for.
Yeah, but ideally, so if you remember a few weeks ago, it was a while back, we had a video from Dan Suzuki where he had the wheel stop working mid race and he pulled over and he hot swapped it. That you could do under this circumstance now because when you load back in, you could then I guess choose whatever the controller is that you want to use. So just makes it a lot easier as opposed to having to save everything by car. Like you said, you can have road wheel A, road wheel B. If you got two oval rims, you could have oval A, oval B, and then doesn't matter what car you get into, you could then pick that controller profile and everything should work.
Right. Next up, we have the season 3 schedule has been announced. Any surprises or anything you guys looking forward to?
No, not really. Didn't see anything that looked. I mean, I'll run NIS and IMSA, so um, no. I mean, it's kind of what I expected. I didn't. I'm assuming that will be a Coronado next week. I know that has probably hasn't been changed on the schedule yet, but I didn't even look at the NIS side. But I would anticipate that that's the case.
I looked at Ringmeister. Week 1 is the darn GT3s. I hate those things. And then the Ford Mustang. I don't like that either. And then the Porsche Mission R. I don't even own that car. And then the darn M4s. I don't like that either. Ugh.
Well,
So
there's your four drop weeks.
there you go. All right. Well, I'll try in the GT car, but I probably won't like it. All right. What do we got here? Invincible. Greg, we got a video from Neil Anatula.
Yes, this is on Instagram. Um, he, he's posted a, what do you call this, rear chase view, um, or front chase view, I guess, or whatever, and they're at Brazil. They're coming down the front straightaway, and the car behind him clips the water barriers or tire racks at the end of the pit road and totally demolishes the car in the view, but not really. It repairs itself, and he still has all the momentum. And it looks like, I'd like to know, I think maybe he makes the pass in turn one with the amount of momentum he had, but that car was completely destroyed on the left hand side, and it comes back to life. So, is that a thing where it's destroyed on his screen, but not in the other guy's screen?
Or is
It's
it
just,
if you've got damage off, doesn't it damage the car and then put it right back?
that's
That's
true.
that could be it too.
Or it's one of those deals where the guy's kind of got a high ping, and like you said, he didn't actually hit it, but from this guy's vantage point, he did, and so there's this mishmash of is he damaged or not damaged, and so the sim decides and instantly repairs the car.
So just to give a just an update, we did get a release actually ahead of the build week of the iRacing Downshift podcast. So they did delve into the dev blog a little bit, talked about iRacing NASCAR 26, which is in development. So been a while since that we've had one of those, but not a bad show, less than an hour, but a little bit of insight.
Did Greg West move to Europe? I kind of heard that in between, kind of what they were talking. It sounds like he doesn't live here anymore.
Yeah, I picked up on that as well. They were talking about airports or something. He's like, "Well, take it from somebody who lives here."
Right. So Greg West no longer lives in Boston, I guess. But all right, yeah, it was a good show. I listened to it as well. Um, it's good to hear from these guys once in a while and see what they say about stuff. And they talked about a lot of the new content, in this season's build. And cool. So next is events. Let's hit Watkins Glen 6 hour.
Yep, next week. Still don't have a forum post. Almost a week out with BOP or anything. So it's fantastic that we had the poster like 3 weeks early, but sure would be nice to know what the
Kudos to the poster guy.
what the BOP. So
At least they're getting consistent now between all these main events, right?
well, they're
Consistently
I don't know.
inconsistent.
There you go. Thank you.
Look, we're a weekly show. And if they can't get it out within a 7-day period, I don't know how to help them promote their event. I mean, we want to help them promote their event, but come on. They know the dates. We have the dates on the poster. Why can't somebody sit down and write the darn post and put it out there?
I don't know. I just checked again to make sure that I didn't miss something, but I there's people in the forums asking for it, and I think somebody gave a link to last year's to say, hey, here's the times for last year should be the same.
Next up, it's that time of year. We have the Firecracker Summer Classic, sponsored by Superior Button Box. It's Saturday, July 11th, 9 p.m. start, 8 p.m. practice Eastern, 80 laps. Cash purse, winner ring. What does that mean? Winner ring. $10 entry. It's 100% raised goes to charity. It is broadcast on Slingshot TV. 3 sets of tires, a minimum 1200 I rating. The random drawing for the Superior Button Box.
Yep. So this was sent to David Hall from one of our listeners asking if we would give it a shout out. So do it on the script. Told him we would. So look, good opportunity to support a charity. So the charity is the Headstrong Project, which provides completely free, confidential, and barrier-free mental health care to military veteran service members and their families. So again, 100% of the money raised with the entry fee is going to the Headstrong Project.
And we have a link to a Google Doc to sign up in the script. All right, what did we miss this week?
Not a whole lot with it being week 13. NIS is at Pocono. The iRacing Grand Prix Tour is at Barcelona. And then the Creventic Series, week 1 will take place this weekend. And I think there was some talk about they didn't even have the practice servers up for this, but I haven't looked. That was, I think, Tuesday. Somebody was fussing about that, so we'll see.
Podcast housekeeping. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform to make it easier for more listeners to find the podcast. Please mention a podcast to your fellow drivers so they don't miss out. We would appreciate it. Check out our Discord and get involved in a discussion. Like today, we had a listener in there had a broken quick release on his Sim Magic wheel and looking for advice on what to do. And yeah, look, it's a community, just like we were talking about with George. We have our own iRacers Lounge community. Get involved, guys. Next up is our iRacersLounge.com, our show notes. You can visually see what we're talking about. Next, we're in regular rotation at Performance Motorsports Network and get your merchandise at iRacersLounge.shop. Fantasy Michigan. Denny gets it done.
Yes, he does. So then he gets the win. And then the Fantasy League, Shane 72 took the win with 238 points. Second place was Jonas. Third was Twisted Spirit. Fourth, Kalen. Fifth was Smiling Ninja. So shout out to Tyler Williamson. Was ninth, Mr. Fat Boy 1990. And yeah, I think it was the start of the second stage, and I went, oh crap. I never set my lineup. So not a good week for, yeah, I just completely forgot about it. So Yeah, not a bad Michigan race. The Michigan races have actually been pretty decent with this car. So Denny, had to start at the rear even though he won the pole because they had to change I guess the underbody or to fix it or do something to it because it was damaged from practice. But manages to drive his way back to the front, gets the win. Hocevar causes more drama, and we saw the most one of the most vicious next gen wrecks we've ever seen between Chase Elliott and Seabell.
And boy, that was something. Look, if that wreck happened 20, 30 years ago back in the day, he ain't walking away. That was that kind of hit.
Well, it wouldn't have happened like that because the cars weren't, back then weren't running 180 miles an hour in the corner either. That's the other problem with this car is the corner trap speeds are stupid high. Um, so
And the old cars had crush zones. The car would crush. This thing is a tank. It's like hitting a wall against a wall.
it's gotten better, from the first year they came out. They've added quite a bit of crush areas to it, but still, no, it's yeah, it's a tank. So yeah, so Denny Hamlin ties Kyle Busch with 63 wins. That didn't take long. So Denny's hot. It's well, Toyotas are. Toyotas are just they figured out something that Ford and Chevrolet have yet to figure out. Ford literally is out to lunch. Chevrolet is getting a little bit better, but Ford is currently a mess right now.
Toyotas can run less drag with more downforce, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, the body hasn't changed. Chevrolet's still trying to figure out the bodies to some degree. They're better, the 9 and the 5, uh, were able to keep up, but at the end of the day, probably one of the best cars, which was Reddick, got taken out in that big wreck on the restart. So that made Denny's job a little bit easier.
Well,
So back to,
go ahead,
I
Mike.
was going to ask you about Seabell. Look, with no winning you're in and no health waivers and all that, I mean, what is the strategy for Seabell? I mean, does he really need to race injured? I mean, maybe it's time for him just to take a little break and heal, considering the way the points are now.
It's a broken hand. Lots of guys have driven with the cast or whatever on it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you got Pocono this week. My only concern is you got 2 back-to-back road courses. So, and I think it's his left hand. So that's the one that's going to be on the wheel. So I don't know. It is what it is. I was never a fan of waivers and all that stuff because, hey, if you get hurt, you get hurt. That's the way. It's big boy sports. That's the way it works.
Yeah. And, in the new points situation, I think it almost encourages him to have to drive injured. Because he can't miss a week, really, because then he's out of it.
So we'll head to Pocono this weekend. One of Denny's probably best tracks. Toyota's probably still going to be stupid fast. So yeah, it's probably going to be a Toyota. I don't see any other way to it not to be.
And with that, it's probably Denny, just because he's got that momentum and he's just hitting on all cylinders right now when some of the others aren't.
Yeah, I mean, like it or not, he's a very smart racer. So very high racing intelligence. So overall, as we leave Michigan, we've got Redneck Racer 80 in the lead with 32.48. Second is Cletus 45. Third, Connor Truman. Fourth, Dollar Cents. Fifth is Canadrian. So we'll set your lineups. Don't do like I did and forget. And we'll see where you end up after Pocono.
We got a race. The top 3 you just called out are within 4 points of each other.
That's nice stuff.
Hardware, software. Of course, at the top of our list is Chad McNeese's Ultimate Hardware Spreadsheet. Look, if you're interested in sim racing gear, looking to make a purchase, this is how you do research. It's a Google sheet, and it's got everything, every piece of hardware that you could possibly imagine. pricing, links, description, feature list, you name it. It's great.
Yep, and just a little preview. Chad will actually be a guest on the show next week, so we'll get to learn a little bit more about Chad and try to get an idea of what spurred him to want to do this. So, looking forward to sitting down with Chad next week.
I'm going to be asking how much time has he spent building this? Because he's got a lot of stuff in there.
Yes, he does.
And to keep it up to date is got to be a chore too.
We appreciate it. That's why we want to give Chad some love.
Okay, next up, one of your favorite companies has dropped a whole lineup of stuff. We got 3 different posts here. Conspit.
Yep. So this is signature edition. This is Conspit and Yiffy Yi. So
Who's Yiffy Yay?
Yiffy Ye is a
Kanye? Or
no, no. He's a sports car driver. Um, so he'll be running at Le Mans this weekend, but he's a brand ambassador for Conspit. So drives for Ferrari. So of course you're going to have some red in here. I mean, look, that's neat. That's good. I don't have a huge issue with Conspit. They haven't done the full copy like some of the other ones have, but so no, decent looking stuff. Their pedals and stuff have gotten good reviews. The wheelbase has gotten good reviews too. So if he's your guy, and now you can pick up some signature, the Champion Edition.
look, I really like the Formula wheel. It's like what, $300 or something? And then the pedals, oh my gosh. I mean, they look really high end actually.
Yep, they do look good. Those are the CPP Evos.
All right. Next is SimLab Direct Drive Spotting. We have a post from SimLab talking about their data pass-through platform, basically featuring that any wheel can be used. Most direct drive systems lock you into one ecosystem. They don't here at SimLab, and then they show you why in the following pictures. Um, Integration with extension cables, 4 different ways to connect, and so forth. And so, yeah, lots of reasons to go with SimLab.
Yep. So hopefully this means we're getting close to seeing the release of the wheelbase. I know a lot's changed since we tried it last September at the Sim Gaming Expo. I thought it felt great back then. I know when we originally talked with Richard, he was hoping for a Q1 release. That obviously didn't happen, but yeah, hopefully we're getting closer. So still excited to see what finally gets released, and really excited to listen to some of the reviews, the hardware reviews on it. So along with that post, we have a new brand ambassador for SimLab, which is James Baldwin. So interesting. He had been a SimiCube brand ambassador and now is SimLab. So be very interesting to see next time he's streaming what his hardware of choice is.
Yeah, he was definitely running a SimiCube 3 just in his last video that we just showcased, what, a couple weeks ago? So yeah, this is a big change for him. But look, he's definitely, I would say, one of the most recognizable sim racers out there. He's one of the few.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was either last week or week before. We shared as far as what he was doing. I mean, he's now, the F1 Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 simulator driver. So and so James does a good job and knows his stuff. So I'll be very interested to hear what he has to say about the SimLab wheelbase once I guess either gets released or he gets his hands on it. So Mike, the VPG Mission Sim wheel from Podium One. What do you think?
Well, look, at first I want to call out Podium One for doing some kind of reviews on YouTube. It's kind of nice to have a fresh face. But one of the guys working over there has done a couple different reviews now where he's grabbed a piece of gear and kind of put a video, together on it. But this time he talks about that VPG mission wheel. Is this the new VPG flagship? Look, I was hoping William Westbrook would be on the show today because he has always been real keen on the VPG, and I'm still curious to think, is this better than that other one?
Well, we saw it at the expo. It looks nice. So I think it's somewhat of a spin off of the Porsche wheel is what it kind of looks like to me. It looks good. You know, it's a high end Formula wheel. I was not able to put my hands on it, but did see it in the Podium One booth. They had all three of that one and the other two VPG wheels. Looked great.
$1,600. As far as the finals here, it says retails at over 1,600. While expensive, Killian emphasizes you're paying for true hardware performance rather than real world racing brand license fees. What he talks about a little bit in this is the design of this wheel. VPG designed it for sim racers specifically, and that's where that Mission Sim label comes from. The mission is build it for sim racers, not try to carbon copy a real life wheel. And that's what this really is. And the way the ergonomics are laid out and so forth, the way the grips feel, that's why he said it was designed for sim racers.
Yeah, they looked good, and everything VPG does is fantastic.
All right. Sim Sport Gadget has a nice little three-way box enclosure thing for a small stream deck, a display, and an iFlag together. What do you think?
Um, yeah, that's pretty neat. I imagine you probably can buy them individually. You could probably They probably sell it all as one package as well. It's pretty neat. Takes up a little bit of room, but I'm not super fond of where the display is being down on the bottom. I'd have a very hard time looking down to see that. Um, I'd rather see that up top and then maybe move the stream deck underneath it. But that would be my only takeaway, from it is I'm just not keen on the display being on the very bottom.
Yeah, SSG always has good options to mount stream decks. This is just another of many options he has.
And we got the another teaser on the new Cube Controls wheel. So this is the Phoenix. We've kind of got, we had an Instagram post last week with the cover over it. Now we've got, you can see the kind of the outline
Silhouette.
silhouette. There you go. So I've seen a couple shots on the internet of what this may look like, but I'm not putting them on the script because I'm just not 100% certain if that's legitimately the wheel. We'll wait for Cube Controls to release it. But if it is, not a huge fan, but I'll wait until it's actually released before I critique something. I'm not going to critique it off this simple silhouette.
Well, look, if it's cube controls, it's usually decent. Everything they put out pretty much is. So I'm
Oh
looking
yeah,
forward to it.
yeah. I'm not knocking quality. It's more of the ergonomics and the layout that I'm a little concerned about.
Yep. I got this one. The end may not be as near. We have a post from UFD Tech. News. New leaks suggest that NVIDIA's RTX 50 Super series is back on track for 2026. So in the spring, we had several reports that NVIDIA was pretty much abandoning their graphics card production in favor for all this AI business. But now this rumor suggests they're actually going to produce these 50 RTX 50 Super. So will be the card to get, guys, if we're doing a build a 5080 Super or a 5090 Super?
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think the price of that would be?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be stupid. So, I mean, my plan is to probably upgrade this winter, new motherboard, CPU, and all that, and ideally go ahead and replace the GPU. But we'll see. A little nervous with all of the RAM news and GPU news and all of that, but that's still the plan right now.
All right, I know you were laughing at this one, Brad, from Vasaro Sim. And the title is, does it include a wind sim? Well, they might need a wind sim with all the smoke they were blowing.
This, I it's an enclosure that would go, around your rig, and it's got screens inside to, you've got like a wraparound screen, but it completely
Projection.
projection, yeah. But the back, it's like a back door kind of opens and closes, so you're completely, encapsulated in this. Yeah, I don't, nah.
It looks so hot in there. That's all I can see. Where's the air conditioning? It's like this would not work. And then the whole mechanism of the back door sliding open and sliding closed, like it's got this hydraulic arm or something at the top that moves the entire door back, automatically. And then over the top with the fog machine, they run the fog machine so the whole floor is covered in smoke, to make it look mysterious and this and that. And then, my God, what could this thing cost?
Um, it's not even on the website yet, so I can't even imagine. The cost on some of their stuff is $80,000-$90,000 for a stationary rig, and yeah, I don't even want to imagine.
Kind of the projection wraparound screen is kind of cool. I always wonder about delay because look, there's a lot of graphics processing that goes into play when you take multiple LCD or LED projectors and try to have a combined image that needs to be split to these two projectors or three projectors. And I don't know how you get rid of that delay. I mean, I don't know how racing on projectors is reasonable because of that.
All right, Mike, your AO logs. So we got a new sequential shifter.
Yeah, it's only 260 to 280 US dollars. I don't know why there's a discrepancy there, but it's an analog shifter, just kind of like the same brand I have, but it's a different look, a black base, kind of some green dots on one side and a nice shiny, very unique shifter handle, kind of crooked look to it. Doesn't have a big knob. And I think that's the reason I probably don't like this. It doesn't have the big old knob or a shifter thing. I like to be able to, I don't know, grab my knob, so to speak.
Oh boy.
Tony has to clip that one.
Wow.
Title idea.
Yep.
Well, look, you can't go wrong with analogs. I've
Mike,
considered
stop.
these other shifters.
Hey, just stop. You're messing up the more you.
Oh my God, Mike! Thank you.
Yeah, get your shifter from analogs. Now this one kind of got me riled up. Next up, we have a post from Simicube. They show a picture of their Simicube 3, and it says "coming soon" for the final 1%. And it's a teaser of some kind of something they're going to release here shortly. It says stay tuned for June 16th for the drivers who already know what good feels like. Now, what is it they're talking about? Is this what we've been waiting for on the Simicube 2 Pro with the
No,
telemetry feedback? Please.
it's probably the SimiCube 3 Ultimate.
Ah,
So is it
like anyone's going to buy that.
a 50 Newton meter one? Just gonna keep upping and upping and upping.
Rip your arms off when you hit the wall.
So like
Ah.
Seabell.
So I know there was a lot of comments, Brad, about the telemetry feedback. Do you know any more info about that?
No, I go through their Discord about once every couple of days, and I haven't seen anything. I know that the intent is still to do it once they finish whatever they're doing with the SimiCube 3. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even updated the tuner software yet still. So
Okay. Got a couple more. Let's try to get through these before we move on to results. A real quick hit from Laura BTLRR on the Instagram shows off a new, what she calls a $4 million Pagani driving simulator. But The real catch is if you buy a $4 million car, a Pagani car, they throw in the simulator for free.
Right. So it's a $4 million simulator that's free.
And boy, is it. It's got all carbon fiber. It's got, I think she said $80 per bolt for the titanium bolts that hold the thing together. The Pagani wheels, or I mean the Pagani pedals.
I could just
Go
see
ahead, Greg.
I could just see Brad going to his wife, honey, I got it for free. I got it for free. I just had to buy the car.
That's guy math. That's the way it works.
Just trying to explain it to the wife. Got to figure that out. It's like having two sim rings.
It does look nice, though. Wow.
It does not look nice. It looks freaking horrible. This is the
What is-
same stuff
I'm
that
like,
ought to be in a showroom somewhere in a dealership or something like that. No one's going to use that in their house. That simulator is like $80,000-$90,000, and it
But-
sits there and doesn't do anything.
so title idea.
You're
I'm
not.
a slut for
You're not.
carbon fiber.
You're not getting away from your your other title idea. Did he just?
All right, we got one more, and this one I was like, take my money. No, this wasn't the one I was thinking of. So this one is a review from OC Racing on the Sensit MTCP cushions that you replace your seat cushions with these, and they have haptics built in. And look, it hit on his video, the screenshot says not normal as he points to it. And that really tells you everything you need to know about this review. Look, he's complimentary about it and it's got a neat feel and this and that, but I don't know. Comfort wise, I don't think it can be the same. There's just no way. There's less cushioning.
Well, here's my thing. Haptics are fine, but if I'm going to simulate driving a race car, I don't want haptics on my back.
Right. Tickling your
Well,
lower back.
Yeah, I mean, what's the old saying? You drive the car by the what?
Seat of your pants.
Yeah, you want it
There you go.
underneath you.
You want it underneath you. You either want it on the seat, under the seat, or you want it
Or on the
corner.
rig.
Yeah, I don't need to feel the curbing on my back. I mean, if we're gonna do first person shooter, maybe we're gonna do some airplane stuff. Maybe I don't know, but it's just I just don't. Neat idea, but not for a racing application.
And not for $650.
Is it hard to do haptics under the, like, where you're sitting because of trying to make it comfortable for you to be able to sit on it as well, like for a couple hours at a time?
And I have
Not for me.
I have a gigantic puck that's
No,
mounted to the bottom.
I'm talking about like for these seats, like the way that they're going about these seats. That's why they don't just, put it underneath your ass.
No, I think the product they have, it goes under your butt and behind your back. Now look, my butt kicker is bolted right to the bottom of my seat with 3 bolts. It can't get better than that. It's literally a ½ inch from my butt. And I have all my regular cushion.
Right, and I have a Dayton puck bolted onto the bottom of mine as well. So
All right, let's talk results. NASCAR iRacing Series open Friday at Michigan. I got a P16. Started in the back. Got in one caution with a little bit of damage. Went to the back again, but I came up through the field twice. Took the lead on some alternative fuel strategy around lap 35. Was able to keep it right up there until about 5 to go, where they finally got a run on me, and I drifted up into a guy a little bit, and he wrecked. And he gave it to me verbally over the radio from that point forward, like cussing me out, calling me every name in the book. He would not stop. I was polite and didn't speak back or anything. Anyway, next restart, I get loose and fall back into the field, and I rally to finish P16. Now, a follow up to this race, I got an email Tuesday morning from iRacing. This guy protested me, and I got an official warning for And what sporting code did iRacing say I broke? Intentional wrecking is what they said I did. Now, I just read it to you. I didn't intentionally wreck anybody. I said, quote, they finally got a run on me, and I drifted up a little bit and got into the guy a little bit, and he wrecked. That's a racing incident. I certainly didn't intentionally wreck him. And I actually will take a moment with iRacing because, look, if you're going to protest me, tell me what I did wrong. I didn't intentionally wreck this guy, so don't tell me I intentionally wrecked him because I didn't. There was no intention to it. So so I'm going to ask you guys, what's in the sporting code that I did wrong?
Nothing. I had the exact same wreck in my race. It's a racing incident. It happens. There was no malice in there. Um, it just that happens. So yeah, I don't. Again, I understand the limiting of choices for when you file a protest, but sometimes the options you have are not very good, and you have to explain that. And I don't know what the guy did to explain, but you know, I don't see how getting tighter to somebody is intentionally wrecking.
And I certainly didn't think he was going to protest me because he let me have it verbally. And then on Tuesday, I was like, man, I sure should have saved that replay or I would protest his dirty language. He called me every name in the book. And I didn't take a minute and protest him for that. And I probably should have, considering what happened. But yeah, look, I'm with David on the stewarding stuff. It's gone downhill. I mean, I see this. Look, I'm one of the cleanest racers out there, and I definitely don't intentionally wreck somebody. And I actually take offense that iRacing told me that. So moving on, Tony Rochette, P26, caught in a wreck as usual. Brad, P15.
Yeah, just a mess of a race. So forgot to change my set from qual to the race
You
set.
even called it out to everybody to
And
do
I
that.
did. I did. I told everybody to change your sets, and I didn't change it. So really struggled to try to get the feel in the car that I needed, but ended up being involved in a couple wrecks. One couldn't avoid. Second one was on me. Same scenario coming out of four. I just got tight. I drifted up. I mean, it wasn't much contact, but it was enough to turn him around, turn me around, and we collected a bunch of guys. You know, just what it was. But yeah, just uh, just chased the car the whole night, and yeah, just a mess.
And so that guy that you accidentally wrecked, he could have protested you for intentional wrecking, apparently, and get away with it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I said I'm sorry, but it's just again, there's no malice in it. It's just it's racing. It gets really tight coming off of Fort Michigan.
Look, if they want to put in the sporting code that there's a racing incident that you can be protested for, let's call it that. Okay, let's call it what it really is. Don't tell me I've intentionally wrecked somebody. That's yeah. I'd like to have words with Nim Cross over this, and maybe when I see him, I'll ask him about it. All right, let's move on. Kyle Pendergraft, P24, started on the pole but couldn't hold it long and dropped quickly to the top 15. Raced my way back towards the front and kept it clean. Coming to P2, coming to two to go, P4 snaps loose and then snaps back into sending me into the outside wall and ruining my top 5 finish. Sunday Open NIS, Michigan, Tony Rochette, P33. Man felt fast again, got tagged while going down to avoid a wreck, and did the most Spartacus set barrel rolls down the front stretch, ended my week of hometown track. Sunday Fixed, I had a did not start. And my story is I went about 20 minutes before the race, fired up the computer, and 4 or 5 minutes later, it's blue screen of death reboot. And I tried, okay, I'm not going to run SimHub this time. I'm not going to even launch the sim this time and see what happens. Every time it's rebooting and crashing. So I missed the race. I ended up finishing dead last because I missed the race. I troubleshooted my computer for almost 2 hours before I couldn't figure it out and decided to reinstall Windows from scratch. So I erased everything, reloaded the computer, and I can't be happier that I did that. The booting time length is increased so much. It used to take almost 2 minutes to boot my computer, maybe longer. Now
What?
I'm booted in, yeah, it would sit on the BIOS screen forever, and then eventually you get to the Windows login 2 minutes later. Now, after the reinstall, I'm on BIOS for maybe 10 seconds, and then I'm on Windows login. And so it's way faster. Um, it's also an opportunity for me to clean up my third-party apps because they're all gone. So I basically was very careful about what I reinstalled this week. So this week has all been about rebuilding everything on the computer, logging into everything, getting everything reconfigured and set up. I still have to redo my Stream Deck. Lots of work, but I think it's worth it. Wednesday Open NIS Pocono. I got it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Going into this race, I didn't think I had a chance to win. In fact, right near the end, I was telling Brad that over the radio. But some good strategy did cycle me up to the front, and I ran around top 5 most of the day. Stayed out once I had put it in the fuel window, and stayed up front as those cautions cycled. And boy, Brad, you'll talk about how many cautions. I had just as many. Uh, anyway, at the end there, we had a late restart. He got to my inside through the tunnel turn. I wanted the outside. I was unable to pull him through 3. I get up. I just kind of dove it in there on the outside and kind of pinned him down or pinched him down or whatever. But just literally drove past him in that final turn, coming to the checker. My second win this year, I won Daytona 500 and now the Pocono race. 30th NIS overall and 156 total count in wins. Super stoked. Been on cloud 9 all day, thinking about the way I took that win from that guy, and earned it. And so, yeah, it was pretty pleasant to get that done. I'm feeling pretty happy. Tony Rochette P10 should have ran the looser set. Was fast, but burnt my right front up too much. Was cruising into 4th with 2 to go, and a rage quitter stopped on the track and caused 2 green-white checkers. One green-white checker ran into the wall, giving me damage. Second one just barely held on. Only had 4 cautions with a 56-lap run in the middle.
What would that have been like?
Chris Waldron wrecked out real early. David had gremlins. Oh boy, what's this? Something really weird went, and the first time I pitted, my SRA audio, which was working in practice, stopped working, so I sped. I also got no countdown to the pit box, so I missed my pit. Then I also noticed the visual spotter for JRT no longer working. Tried to restart JRT, no fix. Next restart, I locked up the brakes, avoided a crash, and ended up in the wall with 7 minutes damage. It wouldn't turn going 5 mile an hour, so I decided to just fix it and go ahead and reboot and see if it could solve the problems. Reboot did not fix. Visual spotter and SRA sound still not working. At some point during another caution, I get a stop and hold for entering a closed pit. Not to worry, but I couldn't get it dropped from 40 to 15 seconds because the left tire change box would not turn off, even though I was out of left tires. So now I had infinite left tires, but have to serve a 40-second penalty. Race over, I immediately go to a practice server, and JRT now works. So something was borked in that particular race server.
Know about that. The SRAs, the sim racing apps, and we were talking over Discord. I mean, I don't think it's been updated in close to 2 years. I know there's no more support for it, but yeah, at some point, I think you just got to move away from some of this older stuff that's just not getting any updates anymore.
Well, look, everything David just called out, third-party app, third-party app, third-party app resort, all this stuff. Well, maybe it's time to reinstall Windows and get rid of all that stuff. Brad, P10.
Yeah, P10, but I felt like I was at Martinsville. 14 yellows, 43 laps under caution.
Out
you
of
know,
80.
Yeah, well, we ended up being 87 laps because of, two green white checkers, but whatever. I think the longest run that we had was about 6 laps, just really guys just completely driving over their heads. I mean, we multiple times where we didn't even get back to the start finish line after taking the green. So just stupid. At one point, actually, I mean, literally just had someone drive straight through me in the tunnel turn. I mean, just comes in the back of me, hits me in the back, and just throttles up and just keeps driving. Just literally just pushes me out of the freaking way. It's unreal. So I don't know how I managed to not destroy the car. I was able to get back towards the front as the race was winding down, but just not enough green laps to really make a charge. The worst part was the leader ran 58 laps on a tank of gas and still had 8 laps in the tank after taking the checkered. So he pitted on lap 29 and had 8 laps of fuel still. That's how many yellows we had. It was just, ugh. I'm not looking forward to doing it again on Friday. I will, but it's just an absolute mess.
And there was literally no fall off on the tires. And boy, you have to have the track position to win this race. Look, there was I was lucky to pass for the lead on the final restart because most of the times on these restarts, the leader just takes off and there's no way to challenge him unless he makes a mistake. Thursday Open, Tony Rochette, P2, ran the looser set this time and stayed in the top 5 most of the race. Did the 2 tires and adjustment with a 4 to goes restart. Went early, great run for a lap, then got super tight in 2 and knocked the wall down, giving up the lead. Oh well. P2, nice run. Then David ran and got a P3. He said 2 tires, I presume at the end. Look, the set was wicked fast, and Scott Super Loose can't thank Premier Racing Setup enough for helping me get my second NIS win this year. Moving on to majors, 24 at Le Mans. It was David, Tom, and Greg from the paddock. P2, great run.
Wasn't me.
Not that Greg, right? All right. I don't know which Greg it was, but it might be the one that got away, he said. After we had 3 major incidents, 2 on us, 1 on another, still made it to the end with a lot of others getting caught up in the worst messes. 3 of the GT3 teams got busted for sandbagging.
It's not good.
I ran a few races, ran several pickup cups at Daytona, wrecked out of each and every one of them early too. And then I enjoyed Gen 7 at Coronado. They have some short races going on for week 13. Made it 4 laps the first time. Went from 15th to 8th in the first lap. I was doing pretty good. I finally overdrove it and stuffed it in the wall. Next start, I moved from 13th to 4th in the first lap. Made it to lap 5 this time before I stuffed it in the wall. And then third attempt, I finally finished. Started 10th, made it to 5th on the first lap, and eventually actually finished the race with a nice podium, P3. Look, a very fun track. The bumps are going to make this interesting. There are several big bumps, especially going around the corners in some spots. And if you don't hit it just right, your car is going around. All right, final thoughts, Greg.
I'm just still not back on racing yet. Still doing some renovations here, but hopefully I'm gonna try and race Saturday or Sunday morning at Pocono. I like Pocono, but we'll see how it is. I'm not gonna guarantee anything, but it's good to see the guys setups are still fast and you guys are still having your caution fests.
Same old title idea. All right, Brad Wren, final thought.
Yeah, like I said, the opening week 13. So maybe I'm weird, but it's kind of nice to just take a break. Just running a couple of NIS without a whole lot to worry about. I think it was maybe Monday night. I just got on and was just turning laps in different cars and just kind of enjoying it. So spent a little time going through my normal retightening stuff on the rig and just cleaning up a little bit. I picked up a few things that I have to get mounted over the next week, but I'll share those on the Discord once I get them mounted. So I spent some of Brad's money. It's a never ending thing,
It's
as we all
his
know.
Pagani car with his new Pagani rig.
Stop! Don't tell her. So yeah, Pocono, yeah, Coronado's going to be an absolute mess. It's going to be an absolute mess in NIS. I don't, yeah, I can't even imagine. There are certain spots on this track that it's literally, if a car gets turned sideways, you're not going to be able to pass. It's that tight.
You're gonna have to stop.
Yeah, there's that section coming down I guess it's towards the backside or by the water, but whatever. But it can't be but about 9 feet wide. I mean, I don't even know if you can get two cars side by side. So yeah, I just hope everybody just has a little bit of patience, but there is no patience in NIS, as attested to the 14 yellows at Pocono this week and the 12 plus at Michigan last week. So it is what it is, but we'll soldier through.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be practicing more at Coronado in Gen 7, believe it or not, because I think it's a good opportunity for me to win a race. I won at Chicago the first year in Gen 7, mainly because I was able to keep it on track when everyone else couldn't, is how I won that race. And if I have more practice than the rest of them that are in my split, I think I have a good chance of winning, especially if I can get it qualified. So I'm actually
Practice.
looking forward to it.
Practice.
Yeah, believe it or not, practice. Look, Brad, you're giving me a hard time last night for no practice because I was about to spin out early in the race, but I went on to win it. So practice, smacktice, Ugh. I can go both ways with it. Look, my final thoughts is it's a bummer when your computer won't stay on for more than 4 minutes. And after I spent some $4,000 3 summers ago on this thing, I was pretty lit. But the good news was I found the Windows USB drive. I found the Windows key. Thank God I put them somewhere where I could find them because I would have had to go buy Windows and all this other stuff. But anyway, it worked out, and my computer's faster for it. I don't have the third-party bloat I've been using that's really not supported anymore. That apparently David's having problems with. So I'm a happy camper. And with that, we'll see you on the track later. All right, title ideas.